Okay, we are back. For me, this is several videos in a row that I've been trying to do. Uh, so, okay, uh, back at One Angry Gamer. Like I've said several times, if you like this, like I've said several times, One Angry Gamer is about the only news site that I find for some of the things that I like. For the kindness of the news that I want to hear. And if you have, if you know of Pacific Articles or other good news sites to look at for news like this, then put them in the comments. And yeah, just put them in the comments. Gosh. Okay. So I guess the Chinese are having complaints about hair dye. Shining Star 2. Suspended from Chinese TV following complaints about hair dye. For now, I am going to assume that for whatever reason, the Chinese government is worried about kids dyeing their hair, or about no, I shouldn't say worried about. I imagine the Chinese government doesn't like the kids dyeing their hair, and that they I imagine they don't want the kids dyeing their hair, and they might be covering it up by claiming something about possibly dyeing your hair being bad. As far as I know, dyeing your hair isn't good for your hair, at least the health of your hair. But I imagine that they will also come up with other things to claim why dyeing your hair is bad. But let's see what Billy has to say about why about Chinese not liking hair dye. Okay, mainland China, bad people, has very strict rules when it comes to broadcasting telecast. I think telecast is just international broadcast or distributed media. The Ministry of Propaganda is extremely adherent to protecting what they call Chinese socialist values. They have to ensure that video games, movies, music, television shows, and cartoons adhere to, I think I heard that there's only 37 movies that can be imported from the US for China. And it's only those, and they have to fit within these values to prevent social disturbance through propaganda or something inherent. I don't know, or indoctrination. This even applies to completely harmless idol shows such as 3D animated show from South Korea. Oh, okay. So it's not really an anime, but close enough. Just like a lot of other things. Shining Star 2, which was suspended from its airwaves after a television bureau reviewed complaints about the show promoting hair dye. Okay, what do you mean by promoting hair dye? Because they don't have normal hair. Okay, we will read some more. Somebody did a brief article about the show's suspension, noticing that it came following complaints filed on May 27, 2020, over the Human Profession Radio Television Bureau's website. Okay, the compliment states Golden Eagle Cartoons Channel, okay, which airs around 1800 hours in the evening, contains problematic value orientation. It should not promote colorful hair dye or wearing fancy pattern costumes on stage. What? Why is that wrong? Why is it wrong? Because I'm assuming I'm assuming what they mean by promoting colorful hair dye is that they have bright color hair, and so people may want to dye their hair to maybe cosplay as it, and along with cosplaying, wearing frilly patterned dresses. Does the picture show? No, it's just the face. But why are the dresses? Why did I say dresses? It's just as. Oh, I think it's fancy, not frilly. Excuse me. Fancy patterned. I don't get why that's a big deal. As reported by him, the show was suspended while the Bureau launched an investigation. Where they investigated. I'm guessing that's a dude from the show. Okay. The Bureau then put together a response on the 10th and reported the reply publicly on the website on the 16th. They noted that the show is about young girls attempting to work together collectively as they strive to achieve a dream through trial and tribulation, and that part of the premise of the show is never giving up and moving on. In response, the Bureau wrote the production company disguised the characters' hair in different colors to help the audience quickly distinguish the anime characters. Well, not technically anime, but close enough to improve character recognition, not to promote hair dyeing. Oh my. Well, at least the government's on the side of the show, but or at least it sounds that way. But the people have been so indoctrinated by the people have been so indoctrinated by the government that something that looks like it's out of line, like hair dye, I mean not hair dye, but like different color hair, like different color hair, it freaks them out. They feel that it's something bad. Okay. The guy notes that the Bureau felt that the show did not promote problematic values, and that the different hairstyle colors were simply to help audience distinguish who was who, while also fitting the narrative of the characters pursuing the dream of becoming idols, which is not only popular in Japan and South Korea, but apparently is quite popular in China too. Oh, so China the Chinese like idol anime too. I'm a fan of idol anime, but hardly any idol anime actually gets dubbed, and I'm a dub watcher. Take that as you will. I mean, I don't think that fits, but I watch dubs. Okay, which is quite popular in China too. The article notes that reality shows like produce 101 and Youth with You have taken hold in Chinese households. I'm assuming they're like some sort of idol thing. Surprisingly, the Bureau was quite apprehensive, to what the show is aiming to convey, and suggested that knowing some of the nuance of the show's art direction was also ignoring the details of the plot writing. Okay. Meanwhile, since the show features stage performances, there are scenes of switching between daily and stage clothes. This ignored the subtle influence of cartoons on minors and did not carefully concern the details of the plot. Okay. The show was still reportedly suspended, but it's possible to still rewatch the episodes on YouTube, provided by a Chinese YouTuber. A Twitter user warned that Chinese influence should not be taken lightly in Japan, and that if the Japanese want to preserve their culture, they shouldn't let China's censorship policies seep into their media entertainment. Yeah, but this is a. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to say this isn't connected, but it's like, of course, it's connected because it's this article is about different color hair. I mean, if you like Pretty Cure, a lot of their characters have different hair. I mean, at the beginning, it wasn't crazy, but as what I know of now, I've only seen the dub of the last two ones. Excuse me. I've only seen the dubs of. I mean, I've seen the dub of the first one, and I've seen the two new dubs that are on Netflix, and the two new ones, they have some crazy hair, and it's very colorful. So that's where it fits in. Although I imagine you got it, but I didn't catch it. But yeah, okay. Not a Japanese work, not an American one, but a Chinese one that is a bit of topic in Japan. A complaint was made about the color of hair in Chinese animation. But wait, I thought it was South Korean. Okay. And it was suspended in China. Many people. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Okay, we'll read this though. The self-destruction of China's content industry, which was expected to overtake Japan, was predicted, but I can't hide a shock when it actually happens. Okay. The data is a bit old. 2016, anime accounted for 77.1% of Japanese video exports by region. The US accounted for 27.2%. Asia, I'm assuming that's Japan too, assumed for 58.7%, Europe 8%, Latin America 1.6%. Because of this ratio, we tend to be interested in the US and China. Okay. For those of you who don't know, China is one of Japan's biggest importers of media consumption, and so there are worries about Japanese product companies trying to veer content to accommodate the Chinese market, much like how some people worry about companies like Funimation attempting to influence production companies to cater to left-wing. Okay, I get it now. Yeah. Things make it a little more difficult. Also now that China has made inroads into controlling Hong Kong after the security law was passed in Beijing, as reported by the Hong Kong Free Press. Yeah, that's sad. It looks like we're at the end. Excuse me. Bumping. Okay, I think I got the bumps out. Okay. This will mean that the controlling influence from mainland China will spread even further, thus requiring Japan to hold steadfast against the ever-encroaching might of the CCP. China has always wanted to try to take over the world, but they aren't going to try. For now, they're not going to try to take over the world through a military force. They're going to try to take over the world through different ways. one way is what is being shown is that because China is a big market, because China is such a big market, if you want your thing to be present in China, it has to abide by the Chinese laws, by the Chinese how's it gonna? I was gonna use a different word, but it has to pass the party. Yeah, we'll just say it like that. It has to pass. It has to pass the standards of the party. We have seen some examples, like at the beginning of the whole Hong Kong movement. Like at the beginning of the whole Free Hong Kong movement, organizations, businesses were making statements in support. Well, maybe not directly in support, but at least indirectly. At least indirectly in support of what the communist government is doing to the democratic people of Hong Kong, and that is one way that they are trying to control the world. I know I was thinking of another way, but I can't. I forgot what it was. But yeah. Oh yeah, though they also want to try to take over industries as well. The example the one that they was talking about was taking Chinese money and trying to influence organizations. Actually, I think this is exactly the same thing that I said. They want to influence organizations to cater to them in their ideology, so that one of the other ways that they are trying to take over the world is by giving loans to countries, and then from those loans, the countries defaulting on the loans, and the communist government taking property of what the loan was for. But there's probably other things that you may be able to think of, and if you like, if you want to, then put those things in the comments so that we all know how the Chinese Communist Party is going to try to take over the world. I gave a few examples that I could think of, but I know that there's several others that are out there. The communist government is not fighting the traditional. Well, never mind. I was going to say they're not fighting the traditional war, but we're not. Yeah, I guess that's one way to say it. Yeah. Something always itches. Okay, either way, leave comments as far as stuff about that. Tell me how to make this better. Also, tell me some other, give me some links to some other articles from anywhere about anything that you think is good, that you want me to talk about. And with that, I hope you have a good day. I hope you come back for some more. Too much spit. But I hope you come back for some more. I also hope that if you liked the video, then give it a like. If you didn't like the video, then give it a dislike or the equivalent. And with that, I bid you adieu.